is Warriors Anonymous.
What is going on in the Warrior Kingdom? Far out, the Warrior Nation, should I say. Jared and Daniel here to break it all down because, holy moly, Buddha. I gotta say, coming out of that game against the Sharks on Saturday night, this weird feeling came over me. And it was just complete contentment, something I haven't experienced as a Warriors supporter for quite a while. So I'm going to start with the huddle now with you, bro. Was that the best win of the Webby era?
It's definitely up in the top three, 2 or 3. I mean, awesome for the season. Best win of the season, obviously, clearly. Easy. And for so many reasons as well. And also to the point we talked about in the podcast as well, some of the things that we were asking to see. I threw the question out, do we have another level as well? And I think it showed we do have another level as well, but I guess it comes down to a particular game style, and we get on top, we open them up. So, and we answer the young guys, the young bulls answered or stepped up to the challenge really of not replacing Mitch for Mitch's sake, but showing what they could do. So I think the playoff win at Mount Smart against the Knights, which was an amazing situation, and obviously that win got us into a prelim final. That was hands down for me so far was the best win in the Webby era, but this was spectacular. Beautiful.
Indeed. A tough team to play at Shark Park, ordinarily anyway. Thinking back to a couple of weeks back where the Sharkies, they rolled the bloody Storm at the same ground and sort of, I guess I was kind of expecting a bit of a sort of hostile welcome from them, shall we say. But bro, you 100% called it with the young Bulls, the young Lions, the next gen of talent, whatever you want to call them. Specifically watching guys like Dimitri, Leka, Jacob, and Tanner as well coming in, adding some bloody punch off the bench. Like, he had a beautiful run, but mate, break those 4 players down from what you saw on Saturday night.
Absolutely. I'll add one more too. So the most pleasing of all of them, I know they had fantastic games, but the most pleasing aspect was, I guess we'd been losing Tohu and then losing Dylan Walker, a few rounds in, thinking, what's our ball play middle situation? And obviously Aaron's been amazing, and I think his ball play is coming on as well, but we know he's got run first mentality, which is fantastic, and he's such a threat because he can pass, he can run, but you need to have cover in that position, right? So what happens when he needs a spell? What happens? And I wasn't sure kind of who and how they were lining up to that replacement middle, so it looks like they were just putting 3 front rowers out there, but what emerged, Warriors whānau, was some of the most silky ball play you'll see. And I think that for me was that moment was just beautiful, because obviously he started that movement, Dimitri Vaiamanga. He'd started that movement with the offload, so hard to handle in the tackle as well. But the silky skills, the ability to look long and then play short, fish in, I think the cameras even missed that kind of, right? Like, everyone was like, oh, what happened here? So it was fantastic. For me, it was the performance of the young fellas as well. Closely followed behind, and you didn't sort of mention, but Samuel Healy. He was fantastic. And I think just gives us, as Warriors fans, confidence without Wade, if he's not available, because he's not always going to be available. He's going to play a good chunk of games. You've got quality like Sam Healy off the bench, or just go straight to the starting lineup. And then, Leka, just hard to deal with, right? He just constantly becomes hard to deal with as well, and building his game. But I think a man who also has been stepping up in the last few weeks is Jacob Laban. His kind of marata near Kore style cutback runs are just, delightful, as well as his bone-crushing defence as well. I mean, you put all those components together, you've got a great recipe for future, what do we call it? The premiership window is now opening as well. And then Tanner just adding to it. And I just love Tanner's his ability to, I guess, in the tackle, gain meters, but his quick play the ball, his ability to get up off the deck quickly and generate ruck speed, it's awesome as well. So, I mean, just seeing all those boys go to work, it's just beautiful.
I love the fact as well, just how Tanner's come in the 2 games that he's played so far, and just hasn't missed a beat. He has not looked like he's, nervous or anything. He's just come straight in and just gone, bam, yeah, I'm here, let's do this. Like, I'm good for it. Before we even mention anything else as well, I've just got to mention warriorsanonymous.co.nz. Daniel's sporting some of the gear from there. So if you want some Warriors Anonymous merch, get along, grab your hoodies, t-shirts. Got everyone sorted across the whole whānau. So get involved with that and and look good like us guys. Probably even better. Buddha, was I'm going to put it to you maybe in a little bit of a negative light, but did we perhaps not do a good enough job of managing Egan's minutes in the lead up to this game? Because we'd mentioned about it earlier in the season. We were mindful of it, but only to sort of lose him now when we had cover anyway, which was fine. But do you think we could have done a better job, shall we say, of managing Wado?
I don't think so. I mean, you got to start the season off well. You got to get some continuity. Yeah, look, I mean, what they said, he's got a bit of a tight hip issue.
Same here.
Which, yeah, same.
Both.
Don't we all? Both. Hip, knee, glute. So I don't know. Like I get the sense if it was a do or die must win game, needled, he goes. But actually, I think it's to the credit of not only the ability to have Samuel Healy, available to start as a an out and out hooker with some size too, and some pace and just smarts. But also, I think it's taken some time to give confidence to a man I thought had a fantastic game, and hopefully he's just kind of told Warriors fans, just like, hey man, like I got this utility role, don't worry about it. It was Tamaiti. I thought he was like, we know this. We talked about this a few years ago with Bailey Scissor. Remember him? But played that utility role to a T, right? Ability to, I guess he's a bit more of a obviously half first, but he can play out in a number of back positions. But he showed some steel as well in defence, and then just got his silky skills, ability to know which way to go. There was confidence to kind of overrule. Well, maybe Chanel overruled Luke, and one of those players went to Chanel, put the kick up. Leka comes away with the 4-pointer. But I think also Tamaiti as a half kind of knew there was an option down there too. So, yeah, so I think going back to your question is they've got confidence now that they've got players. Samuel Healy's had, this is his second first grade game. He's had a really good start in Cup. And you got Tamaiti that, at a pinch could play 40 minutes, 50 minutes in the middle as well. So, yeah, that should hopefully just get some confidence just to get him back right, nurse him another week off for the bye, back to the Panthers as well. So, yeah, it's perfect. It's this whole depth of squad that we have as well as played into his hands.
You see it from a lot of the New South Wales Cup games. People, they almost preempt it and say, well, if either Chanel or Luke goes down, we've got Tanner, we've got Tamaiti. If Aaron Clark goes down, we've got Kalani going. And it's like, I guess people are just sort of seeing the depth that is there rather than fretting like, in years gone by would be just sweating, like,
years gone by.
Please don't get injured,
I remember it must have been it was definitely a game in Brisbane. It was COVID years. I don't think we even had a 17. I think we even had, or close to having a 7. Maybe we just had 17 as well. Peter Heku did a job at 6, and we got the dub. Those days, remember those days? We just sweat on like, oh, who's going to be in the team? Oh, we don't even know. Can we bring people in? Now we've got, I guess a true, you could say, confidence with about 25 of the squad who could come in and do a job, I think, in first grade. And that's
2 teams.
That's so good. That's good times, though. 2 teams.
Absolutely.
And 2 teams. Both teams are just crushing it.
Yeah, did right. Now, in terms of the Egan and the Healy type, I actually got to say about Healy, one thing I just spotted on the 25th time that I'd rewatched the game over the weekend, I spotted that in the final few minutes when Talakai made a break down the left-hand side, and it looked like he was in for all money. But the guy who got across and got him was actually Sam Healy. And I was like, bro, this guy is, this guy's putting in, and that's exactly the kind of character that Webby wants to build, He's a guy coming across. He's from the middle of the field, so he had no real business being out in the centre there, but he got across, tracked across and stopped them. So are you thinking as we move along the season, it's probably an interesting one because of how you've spoken so glowingly about Te Maire and Martin. Is Egan and Healy going to be a 1-2 punch combo, or you're still going to be rolling with Egan and having Te Maire as the 14?
Yeah, I think this is the one that splits the Warriors fandom at the moment as well. Do you go Healy off the bench, you go Te Maire off the bench? I think still for me, Te Maire offers more utility value as well, because it depends where Capes is, right? If Capes is out wide, then, you lose another outside back. You need some outside back cover. We know Marata can play in the centres as well, but I'd say, at a push, probably not as like laterally mobile as Capes is. So, yeah, I just like the Te Maire value, and you just never know what's going to happen in a game, right? And I think to the credit of the squad, we could actually, and not that we need to, I think we could name 16 players as well. Injuries aside, but I think the fitness of the squad, the minutes that we have within say 16, you kind of, it's not a luxury, but it's quite nice. You can carry a Te Maire. There might be a game where he might only get 10, 15 at the back end of it. Or this week, he got quite a big chunk of time because Sam Healy, they managed him, right? They didn't flog him for 80. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I would imagine he might have got, like a 55-minute stint or 60-minute stint, and then Te Maire stayed in there for, it was at least 20 minutes. I mean, he was in that period where I think we just got dominance over them as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I still think Webby will favour Te Maire just for that utility value.
Now, we are an unsponsored podcast / YouTube channel at this stage. So if any sponsors want to give us a yell, feel free to. But Daniel's got a couple he wants to just plug in there for just straight from the heart. This is not paid or anything.
Straight from the heart. I just want to give a shout out to Bundy. Look, I'm not a drinker anymore, but these sort of batch brewed fizzy waters are just a delight. With not many calories, team. So, so we're all getting a little older these days. So 20 calories per can. You could chuck those away. No doubt you could chuck your vodkas in there, but hey, we don't condone that. Drink responsibly, people. So
Sip, stay and play.
But I must, I'll put it out there. So just had a little cheeky. And I don't put multi-bets on or bets on, to be honest.
Well, hold up. Before we go on the next part, is the fizzy water, like, is it flavored, or has it got a...
Oh, sorry, it is. Yeah, it's flavored. This is a lemon and watermelon flavor. So
lemon and watermelon.
So it's not, some of them are like, you can't even taste anything except water as well. Yep. This has quite a strong flavor coming through as well. So
right. I find some of them have too much.
Yeah. There's a bit of borders on that, but we were backing it because with Bundaberg and, rugby league like that.
Oh, exactly. Feel free to hit us up at any stage, Bundaberg. We're right here. Give us a call. We'll sort you out. Now, sorry, part two of the
part two.
This is non-sponsored, but he's going to give a plug anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is league related. This is like just cruising home on a Friday, missed the train, and it was all right because I wait 20 minutes, 25 minutes or whatever to the next one. So just nipped into the local track spa in Wellington train station.
Track
standard
spa
institute for many a lost soul on a Friday. And yeah, just had a feeling to put a little cheeky little multi bet on. And I love a first try scorer. There's something about a first try scorer bet that just, it's kind of like the roulette. You got 26 numbers in there, and you put one in, but then you add your football IQ and you go, okay, so who's playing? So Storm playing Cowboys, and I go, well, who's good for a first try? Ali Katoa. Yeah, Ali Katoa. I just like the way they run shape, and they'll put him close to the line. 20 metres out, they'll put him to space as well. Put him down. Then didn't watch that game as well, but check the result. Check the 20 minutes into the game. Check the app. Oh, he scored the first try. Awesome, cool. So I had a second first try as the multiplier. So that's for the Dolphins versus the Dragons game. Right. So had Ali Katoa, got that win. It multiplies the next one as well. And I just went Dolphins. Yeah, like Dolphins. Who do I like? Oh, not Hammer. Hammer's good, but very low value. He'll be fine with. It's just hard to stop. If you get him close to the line, he is hard to stop. So our mate of the Warriors, Cody Nikodima, went very close, and I was like, no, just trust Cody to scupper my plans. And then, managed to find some shape out wide and Herbie Cross. So I turned a cheeky little $20 into 2,600.
Holy! No wonder you got some bundies.
So I'm on the Bundies team. So, but gamble responsibly, team. You lose more than you win.
That's right. That's right. I like that everything's responsibly, gamble responsibly, drink responsibly. Footy players celebrate responsibly. Don't go doing those jumping over the top of your own player kind of, I know that draws the ire of certain commenters on our page for sure. Too good, bro. Well, that's good. Actually, that shows as well why you should be doing those things and I should not. Because as you're running through them, I was like thinking first try scorer for Melbourne. I was like, yeah, Coates. Second try scorer, I would have gone for Herbie, but I would not have made any money out of said multi. So, congrats, man. Congrats on that. Now, in terms of something that was maybe not so, it didn't turn out so well, shall we say? I don't know if you might have caught the post-game interview of Leka talking to Chook, Daryl Halligan. I just wanted to get your thoughts on what transpired. Was it just maybe a one-off, or is Sky TV? Is it a wider sort of problem for the poor friends at Sky?
I think it was a combination of factors that culminated in what was regarded as pretty hilarious, pretty funny. The young fella's obviously the young fella, right? So yeah, he'll be media trained. They'll provide some coaching around that, and he'll learn the kind of the art of. I mean, he was throwing out the classic slogans around what you say in a game as well. So there was that element. I must admit, there was an element of his teammates stitching him up quite a bit as
Absolutely.
well. They continue to kind of go at him, and I think some of the others that do it professionally just block it all out and just speak to the camera as well. So there's that, and then there's also probably a big generational gap between Daryl Halligan and Leka Halasima as well. So not two that would naturally converse as well if given the opportunity. So you put all those things into the mixer, you're going to get that result. But it was quite funny, to be fair. And I don't think you don't look poorly on Leka. It's just, hey man, he's there to make things happen on the field, not to talk to you guys after the game.
Well, I think in terms of if anyone is to blame in that entire situation, I think he's probably the last person because, as you say, everyone was in the background trying to put him off. Daryl was probably not, as clear as he could have been with certain questions and whatnot. Plus, there's noise going on around the place as well. So, I did like as kind of got towards the end of maybe the last, I would say 30% of the interview, you could kind of see him actually switch on and go, shit, I'm gonna have to fucking just knuckle down and block everything out here and just say a few things, even if it's cliches, just try and save things a little bit. So I did give him a little bit of credit there. So congrats, Leka, for the first interview. Man, we should just get him on this podcast. That'll be a whole lot more entertaining. But bro, he was obviously he came up with another freakish play, jumping in the air and catching a wow of a try. Really, I had noticed that the Sharkies had put an emphasis throughout the whole game on actually trying to use their centers and wingers to just run a bit of interference and block our guys out.
Oh, did they what? Did they what? Did you see that Dan Atkins? He was like, come dance with me. Every time it came around, he was like, shoot. It was terrible.
Was
Who's on the side? Was it Badger on the sideline?
I have no idea.
Oh no,
but
far out.
I actually missed the Pompey try because I was too busy pointing at the screen in the background going, they just took Leka out, man. They just ran straight across and blocked him out. I was like, they fucking took him out. And in the meantime, I was like, oh shit, we scored. So took my complaining hat off and it was like, okay, let's celebrate this. But
okay.
But that Leka try flying through the air against all odds. He's not the tallest man, but we do have some guys who can actually go up and get the ball. And I feel like now we're developing the kicking game that can actually get it to them as well. So are you seeing the burgeoning kicking game as one of our new attacking strengths?
Yeah, I think that kick to on the line, right? And it's not it doesn't necessarily have to be a massive bomb, but it's the kicking it's just spot on, putting it in those little channels where the back row can go, contestable, right? All you need to do is create some chaos as well, and anything can happen. So, yeah, I mean, that's off the back of, and look, let's be really kind of complimentary around how we won that game. We just broke them down. Like it was pretty tight between first half. Got off to a good start. Second half, the Sharks roll, and they like to roll that to get wide, like to do their thing, and they can. Yeah, they can scare you. I mean, that was the thing I was most worried about, is the ability to get away on us, with that. But I think we obviously held our own. The other part too I really liked is we just defend our line, so they can stay in our 20, actually bring them to our 20, and we'll stay there. I think I'm more worried when teams are sort of attacking from halfway or 40 out, where they get the roll on, right, as well. So, but our kicking game, like, we just won the arm wrestle. We smashed them in the middle, despite fucking Brandy going, I don't know if they can handle the big Shark forwards. We just knew they were going to be cooked. Like, I knew that 60 to go, or 60 in, they'd be cooked, and we turned them over. But then we just kept putting the ball down in the corner. The moment I had the biggest smile was when I think we kicked the ball down. We're up 30-10, kicked the ball down, and Jackson Ford comes flying down and stops old mate, forget the fullback's name in my second paper.
Kennedy.
Will Kennedy. Yeah, just squashes him right on the try line as well, just outside, and I just go, we're just dominating them. We're just not giving them any way out as well. So yeah, the kicking game, short kicking games for try scoring opportunities is on point. But credit to both Chanel and Luke. We've got a decent enough long kicking game as well.
Yeah, I got to say, actually, Will Kennedy, I think he could be a prime candidate to be signing for the new Perth team, because he's a guy who's just incredibly underappreciated, I think. Maybe especially by his own team. So he does some really good stuff, despite the fact that we took it to them on Saturday. Bro, the halves, we mentioned about the kicking game, but how are you evaluating Metcalf and Chanel at this point of the season, and how far have they come?
They've come, say, a long way, but they've really stepped into their roles, right? And I guess the Webby to give them the confidence to go and do their thing, right? Knowing they've got a great set behind them as well to step in. Like other lesser coaches could, put the kind of fear in them to say, you play shit, we've got guys waiting for you. He does the other way around. He just gives them the confidence, right? You go and play your game and simplify your game as well. And hearing Luke on the SJ podcast or Play On podcast, and then hearing him, even talking to the Matty John show, like just how assured he is with his role. They're highlighting the run first approach, and which is awesome to see. And I guess I spoke last week about saying, have we got other levels to our attack? But I think we do. It's one of those things. It's like a video game. You need to unlock a level to get like a bonus round, and you got to do so much first, so much work to unlock it, to then the ability to play off the back of that as well. And I think that's how we're playing. And I think I did highlight last week, and I'm really glad it happened, is I think we against the Bunnies, we were very dangerous between in that third 20 minutes, half time to the 60-minute mark. It was start of the second half, I should say, and I think that showed us again we were very dominant there. But once our guys got going forward, our young guys, man, Luke just smart, like he just IDs, poor play the balls or guys running out or backing up and offloads, and he's gone. So yeah, it's not simple. It's like natural playmaking, run first attack. And I was maybe saying, maybe we need to see some of the Melbourne Storm shape, but we don't. And these boys are playing a simple game well, and probably up there naturally, because how we're going is the form halves combo going around.
Did you think, say for the first half of the intercept, Chanel had to run 90 meters? Up until say halfway, did you think he was going to make it?
I did, but just purely because we know that Chanel is like one of the fittest guys in the squad. And I think he showed playing fullback previously as well. Remember, he was the Reece Walsh doppelganger for a bit. Back then, they had a bromance going on. But yeah, he doesn't need an express top end, but he's a guy that just has got a massive engine, right? And he'll just give. So yeah, I was somewhat confident. Then he'd just get there.
You sound extremely confident on that. I was not. I thought, bro, he's gonna have to find someone else. Find someone. There was no one there, and there was no one chasing him. So he was just like, shit. I just have to keep going. I got no choice. Catch me if you can. Absolutely brilliant.
Catch me if you can.
Congrats to Chanel, our boy, doing some really good things. In terms of good things as well, we mentioned the kicking game. Probably looking at things in terms of how they translate to, as we move into the latter parts of the season now. I noticed that the last couple of games, it's helped being a bit drier, perhaps, but we've started to get into the late offload sort of business. Started trading on them. And we've scored a couple of similar-ish tries between the Bunnies game and the Sharks game, I thought. Similar in terms of how they're structured. So last week came from the offload from... hang on, I'm just going to stop right there as well. I'll do a quick off-the-cuff, say my name, because the guy who keeps getting called Dimitri... what is it? Vaymayunga. Oh, boy. We need to bring that segment back or some type of iteration of it, because it's Dimitri Vaymaunga is the... well, I don't know if that's 100%, but that's a lot closer than Vaymayunga. Yeah, Vaymaunga. Anyway, yeah, say my name. It's kind of... Maybe it'll come back. So he got the offload going last week against the Bunnies. We didn't talk about the double round. Missed that opportunity.
Yeah, it was
amazing. I know. Fuck, I missed that. From Wade to Chance to Wade. Wade gave it to Leka. Leka went and scored. This week we get a late offload going again. Might have been Vaymaunga again. No, it wasn't, because he scored the try. It was Aaron. Aaron got the ball away. Link play. Metcalf goes through, looks for support on the inside, and gives it to the demigod. He showed some good speed too, by the way. I know he's got some juice to him, but hey. But bro, those late offloads, is that going to be a real feature of what we're going to look to do as we, dare I even say, as we get towards?
I think so. They are, they're very important in the second phase. The unstructured defensive line. You got guys like Luka just sniffing around as well, so sniffing around balls. We need him to do that. So I think so. But what I think the fundamental is, they've got to earn the right. You've got to have done the work to soften them up, to be on top, to kind of pick the right time. And I think they did. And what I love, Aaron, for example, I love he can hold them because he's got the pass. But if he sees sort of weakness or a shift, as in they push too far, he can punch hard, and then that generates that ruck speed or a flimsy tackle, and then he's available. Often he's blasting guys out. He can quickly play the ball, and we saw that try a few weeks ago against the Dolphins where Luke had just sort of just toyed with Cody, just sort of dinked around him and just just like touching the quad at St. Bridget's styles, and so that late. But when the late offload comes, and Dimitri did one obviously to set up the try that went back to the try for Fish as well. That came off second phase, and then when Tamati went, oh sweet, bang bang bang, and they went wide. Managed to, I don't know what happened, ball kick or something. We cut the ball, and Dallin almost got squeezed out, but it just creates chaos, right? And we've got the tools to do that, but I think they know it's a controlled. Let's just get ourselves into the game, work us over. And I really think, based on how we're going, we can really attack when the starting middles for the other team is not available. Because I think bench-wise, we're probably one of the strongest benches going around, actually. I don't think there's naturally a massive drop-off, especially from an attacking, going forward perspective. Sometimes it is a little bit defensively as well, we know, but it's a secret weapon, and that's where those offloads will come.
You can always tell with the bench as well in terms of how hard it is to select. Because I feel like at the moment we've got just a number of cattle. You can pull the strings, you can put him in there, boom, 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 swap them around, and maybe we'll try this. And it all looks really good. So, yeah, you did right on the strength of the benchmark, looking good. In terms of, we got our Origin coming up the Wednesday before we play next against the old Penrith Panthers. Ivan, Coach Ivan from the Panthers, doing us a bit of a solid. Glad he loves the Warriors, doesn't he? He's saying that none of his guys are going to back up after Origin, so it's like, all right, cool. We would have taken the challenge on anyway, for sure, but either way, all good. From the Warriors' perspective, we've just experienced a major injury to Barnett, backing up from Origin. Capewell has been selected for game 2. How do we manage him, do you think, as we take on the Panthers?
I guess it all depends on the role Capewell plays. Talk whether he is sort of in the 17 bench, cover. There's talk he could be one of the centres as well. So it really depends, what he gets through. And I think, the injury to Barney wasn't necessarily fatigue Origin issue related. It was more freakish movement. And remember, we used to get all these massive injuries, and injuries, touch wood, they happen, and we've had it. We've had a few this year as well, but I think we're still depth of squad being able to cover it. But there's also, I always feel like teams get injured more when they are going backwards. They're getting punished, and it's the defensive issues, right? Where you're scrambling, trying to make these tackles from nowhere and running back, and and we're not that team at the moment. Like we're
not that team anymore. We were that team.
We were that team. Yeah, we're not that team in this current era at the moment. But you know what I mean? Like I feel like when you're, when I think about playing the Storm a few years ago, and Nelson was a steamrolling, and Rise are trying to run back to chase him back, and then like you're tripping over yourself, and you're twisting legs and arms and shoulders and pecs and stuff. But we go forward now, like don't get me wrong. I mean, there's things going to happen, and that was a freakish one, right? They come across, Chanel clips his leg, that sort of things. Back to your point, look, two things. I think, given that they won in the weekend, the Panthers, I think because it could have been a bit of a must win for the Panthers to kind of stay in touch. Because obviously he needs to stay in touch with the 8. But I think being the Tigers probably just said, maybe we can just kind of not drop one. It's hard to say. Like, you can't just say, because how many times has the Penrith B team previously rolled every other team in Origin from week K?
Yeah.
So,
and likewise, we rolled them with our B team in 2024 at Magic Round. So it's a tough one mentally to try and stay on top of. Probably, I think for me, the most pleasing aspect of that game against the Sharks was the fact that we did not have major periods of mental lapses, because it's been a feature I've written it down on our show agenda for about the last 2 months. And you can just think off the top of your head, games like the Dolphins, Raiders, last week against Bunnies. There's a number of matches in there where we switched off and we let them slide. Cowboys is another one. But how pleasing is it for you, bro, for us to just really, really stay on the job and just focus on what we're doing next play kind of thing?
Oh, yeah, I've been talking to people over the last few weeks, especially like against the Rabbitohs. I was saying to people, like, don't worry, like actually we've got our best team back, and that we will do a job. And look, it was Latrell. Without Latrell, we would have, right? He had an afternoon, but we managed to get the dub as well. But yeah, super pleasing. One caveat, and I don't want to be that guy in the Warriors fandom and Warriors Nation to kind of say, like to be the kind of, how'd you put it, devil's advocate. But was aided. We were playing great football. We were doing what we needed to do. We were grinding them. We were completing our sets, we're getting the ball down there, we're forcing them into stuff. But the Sharks also made a decision, I think, kind of maybe at 2010 or 2014, whatever it was, that they felt like they had to score off every possession. They felt like they had to chance their arm. And look, maybe it's a strategy. We put them into a position where time's running out, you've got to create. And you don't want to be on that situation, right? And look, we probably faced a little bit against the Raiders, right? Different context. It was only a 6-point gap, but we were coming home hard. But I guess we felt like we had to be the team. You had to score because we had to score. So, I think there was a period that the Sharks, we dominated them, and we just did it by good football, good, honest football, defensively, and then, great sets and, completion rates and all that good stuff. But, they actually capitulated a little bit. Their kicking game was horrible. Tricky Trinder was kicked up some horrible looking things that we managed to diffuse. Nico, they were saying, just went missing instead of shifting sideways. And so don't get me wrong, we deserve it. We smashed them. We're on task as well. But a little bit of me thinks, other teams, top teams aren't going to do that, right? They're going to keep grinding back at us. And the Bunny showed that. They kept going at us. They didn't do anything super flashy as well. So that's the only thing I'd want to just say is that, we still would have beaten most of the teams, but the Sharkies kind of rolled over it a little bit. If they were like, score if we play, we can't score, we'll let you win. Try again, we'll let you win. Try again, let you win. And not every team's going to do that.
But that's a good caveat, I think. It's a very steady caveat. Good movie too, Devil's Advocate, Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, Charlize Theron, I think, back in the days. Anyways, thank you for jumping on this episode, man. It's been a good one to wrap up because obviously things are going very well. 10 wins, 3 losses, wonderful performance.
10 wins. Oh,
I know. I know, right? So we can go kick back on the bye and just let the 2 points roll on in, which is a thing of beauty.
We've got 2 buys left, right?
Correct, yeah. So we got like bye, and then I think Panthers, Broncos, and then another bye. Yeah,
because I was just doing a quick calculation. Like as you do as Warriors fans, you start going, what is the amount of points you need to make the 8? Because you just need to make the 8. Bearing in mind that we're sitting in second or third, or what it is, or fourth, third. What are we going to do to make the 8? And I think last year 30 made the 8, 30 points as well. So what are we? 22 with 2 buys. So part of kind of this oppressed Warriors fan from day dot goes, you just need like 2 wins in the remaining games just to get there as well.
Yeah.
We know, I think we've got a greater opportunity, and the talk now is, securing top 4 with the run home we have.
100%. Also, the Raiders as well. They've got 3 buys starting this week, so they've got all their buys to be dished out, which is interesting. Bye. Well, thank you for jumping on, bro. And as we'll say, bye for this episode. And we will catch up next week for something. I don't know. We'll preview the Panthers game or see if we can track someone down to interview or whatever. But we'll do that next week. And until then, up the wires and go the Warriors.
La cucaracha, ya no puede caminar.